Well, here we are again, about to spend a day together, making it work on the flat rate, keeping the world moving, seeing how productive we can be, learning things, having fun, getting this door open so we can get started. I'm going to take you to work with me today. What do you think about that? So what I'll do to make it worth hanging around is I'll shorten up the video for you a lot, so you don't have to spend a full 8 hours with me at work. I'll make it into about a 30 or 45 minute video, probably. Sometimes they're shorter, sometimes they're longer, but you guys that have been around a while, you know, all depends how busy I am. I try to film most of what I do every day. I don't film everything. Sometimes I'm just too aggravated for it to be entertaining to watch. Sometimes I'm getting pulled in 2 or 3 directions because I have a couple of 3 waiting customers. You never know. So there's reasons to not film 100%. Not to mention the editing time, you guys might know. Some of these videos take me 4 hours to edit each. So it adds up. It's a full-time job besides my full-time job, but I enjoy it. I keep doing it. I'm not getting rich doing it either, which that's disappointing. It'd be nice. But that's not why I do it. I do it to help out the community, maybe some mechanics just starting out, customers who are curious about what goes on behind the scenes in a repair shop. What does a mechanic go through to get my car done? So, but that's what we're going to do today. Beautiful morning. It's about 68, 67 degrees. Probably headed into the mid-80s. We're in Central Florida, so it's going to be warm this time of year. We're getting towards summer. Eventually it'll be 80 degrees in the morning when I first come in. Not looking forward to that. But we'll do what we can. We're going to try to stay cool. Maybe put a hat on if it gets too hot out in the sun. But we'll see. Let's, man, it's going to be overcast today. What do you think? There's no beautiful sunrise to show you, but we'll be okay. The sun's going to peek through, I hope. Let's finish getting this place open up. See what we can do today to make it a productive day. Stay tuned. Uh-oh. Customer says his brake lights are not working. Well, initially said they're staying on, but I checked it and the brake light switch works, but the brake lights don't. There's no power getting to the back, but the brake light switch, when you step on the pedal, sends power out. So I was just coming to get you guys to start catching you up, and they said, hey, take a quick look at this Honda. She's waiting. She had a cat code. She bought a code reader and plugged it in, and all her dash lights came on. Now she's got a bunch of codes. She thinks she has a bad ECM. We got you an hour. She's waiting. Okay, I'll do it. I wish I could make this stuff up for you, but I'm not. It's just the way it is, man. It's the flat rate world. It is completely normal. It's not an unusual thing, but it is funny to me. Ooh, careful! Don't touch too much stuff. We'll be all right. It's got the service due soon light on for oil change. And we'll see what kind of codes we have with our scan tool deal instead of with a code reader. Usually they tuck them in here. Honda likes to, since they don't ever break, they tuck it where you can't get to it. What the heck? Oh, there it is. See? Told you it was right over here by the fuse panel. Honda. The other one from yesterday, I haven't messed with it yet. I couldn't get it to act up. We'll see what happens. I was gonna pull this up behind my bay, but there's a car blocking a couple of bays. So we'll do it over here while Jace isn't using his lift. That's just a maintenance reminder light. He showed me pictures of all kinds of codes. Walmart recommends 137 or 157. What do you think? Let's see how many miles the car has. 157. 157, 954. So if it's 157, it's 1,000 miles overdue anyway. Go like this, end task, get it on a new Honda. I think I had this on the Honda on the alignment rack yesterday. We're a little frazzled this morning, going in a couple different directions. Someone backed into the fence last night, pushed a fence over, and then left, so we had to fix the gate. I didn't film that, although it was pretty funny. Probably should have. It might have been the most interesting thing that happened today so far. I hope not. We're going to try for you. Read codes, failed to read the VIN, confirm. Back, automatic, read. I'm just doing it the second time. That's cool. That's the one. I'm going to confirm it. It'll say USA. Civic 2015 this thing is. My goodness, I thought it was like a 2005. 2015. Okay. 157,000 miles. Get a kid's seat, you get a point credit for that. So I'm going to say 4. I would normally say 3. But you get extra credit for having kids and having to put up with that stuff. Not like when I was a kid. When I was a kid, the kids didn't run the family. The parents did. Nowadays, the kids run the family and the parents just try to keep them happy all the time. It's kind of weird how that happened. I don't know what happened, but you guys tell me in the comments what changed. We were in a restaurant the other day and it was kids just running around like it was a jungle gym and between the tables, and parents just sitting there eating, pretending nothing was going on. And I'm trying not to be the old guy, get off my lawn. But I'm like, at some point, someone has to raise your kids if you won't do it. Look at all these CAN wires. That's nice. I'm gonna auto scan this thing, see how many codes. Oh, no ECM codes. It's got ABS and airbag codes and stuff. I don't know what this lady was talking about, but he showed me pictures of all these different CAN communication codes her scan tool told her. I want to say she needs an oil change, the service due. And she might have a CAT code. Well, no CAT codes unless she cleared them. Very strange. I'll send a report and we'll see if anything's going to happen with this car. It's going to be one of those days, I guess. But we're going to try not to make it one of those days. I got 38 hours for the week. See what we can get done today. I'm hoping to get 12 hours, hit a 50-hour week. That would be awesome. So far, it seems like lately the day doesn't really get rolling till about 10 o'clock. So maybe we'll come back at 10 o'clock, see what's happening. Once this is done, we'll see if something goes on with this car too. All right, we got some codes, but none in the PCM. So she must have had a code reader that would clear codes from the PCM, but not the other modules. But there's 3 ABS, 3 SRS, 3 electronic power steering codes. But they're all bus communication codes, which I'm wondering if her code reader set those. CAN communication timeout error, VSA system malfunction. I'm going to try clearing them right now, see if they'll clear out. I'm guessing the code reader wouldn't do it. Maybe my scan tool won't do it either. I don't know. It's up to the car whether to let you clear them or not most of the time, depending on how capable your scan tool is. She said, I suspect I have a bad ECM. Some unscrupulous shop might have said, yeah, you do. It's $2,600. You're going to at least see if there's a problem with CAN communication timeout error, permanent DTC. Let's try key on engine off. That was with the engine running. In the module, we'll clear the code just to see if it makes a difference. Sometimes it does. This scan tool will clear them from all the modules at once or individual modules. Sometimes the car will not let you clear them all out at once. See, now it let me clear them out in the module directly. So now what we'll do is key off for a few seconds, start the engine up. Let's go in the PGMFI system or ECM. Look at data stream. We'll just see if we'll look at some data, make sure it all looks correct. I mean, obviously, if something was askew, then the ECM would set a code. The only concern is some codes will take 2 trips. So say a certain sensor is not reading quite right, ambient temperature or something like that, and you're looking here at the data, it won't be right, it'll be wrong, but what it's showing you is accurate usually, but it won't set the code until 2 key cycles. So you start the car, drive it, shut it off, it sits a certain amount of time where the temperature changes a certain amount in the engine, and then the second time you start it will be the second trip, and then it'll put the light on and give you a code. So not all codes set the first time. The only way to be sure is to look at the readiness monitors, which this scan tool shows you that too, which I thought is pretty cool. As soon as I come across a car with an opportunity to show you that, I will. We can see here, maybe I can find it in here. Engine speed, beep, beep, beep. It was up here, it's like readiness monitor. I remember seeing it on one of the cars I looked at, and I meant to mention it and I forgot. Next time I hook it up to another car, I'm sure it'll show it again. And there's a way to probably bring it up that I don't know yet, because I just got the scan tool Monday. But we're going to figure some stuff out with it and have some fun. Extremely capable tool right now. I mean, this is on par with the Virus I had, other than the fact there's no scope in it. And that Snap-on Beavers tool was $11,000. This doesn't cost nearly that much. So I'm really enjoying it so far. The screen's beautiful, the colors, the contrast, the way they do the graphs, everything's very well done. That doesn't really make it so you can do your job any better. It does make it so it's a little nicer to do your job, that's all. So I think this thing, I'm gonna have to go take it for a nice long drive. They definitely need an oil change. I gotta do a full vehicle inspection, make sure it's safe, the tires and brakes are good, stuff like that. And we'll see if we go any further with this car, if the codes come back. She may have caused those codes trying to get to the, something about a catalytic converter code. Her code reader may have caused all the problems. You know, the ones that tell you mechanics are ripping you off, give us $79 and we'll help you out. They cause a lot of problems. All right, we got another Honda to look at, a CRV. Don't know where it is. Don't know where it is. I'll find it. Found it. 2010 Honda CRV. 188,000 miles. Whew. Smells like there's meat in that container, I'm guessing. But I'm not positive, I'm just guessing. Oh, that didn't sound good. Said it's using too much fuel. And the fuel light blinks and stuff because of it. Like, well, if it's out of gas, the fuel light will blink. I don't know. I know one thing, it rattled like crazy when I started it up. And I know we're going to put it on a rack back here. And I know we're going to put the scanner on it. See why the check engine light's on. He says he's going through $80 worth of fuel in 2 hours. That doesn't sound right. Today's gas prices, what's that, 3 gallons or so? I don't know, maybe it's not, maybe it's more than 3 gallons. $80, it's gonna be 20 gallons, let's say. If you pay $4 a gallon for super, I don't think he's doing that though. Let's say it's 20 gallons in 2 hours, burn 10 gallons an hour. That's a lot of fuel. Not possible. The engine will be pumping raw gas out the tailpipe. Makeshift ashtray, I guess. Airbag lights on, check engine lights on, fuel lights blinking. I don't know if it's really about to run out of gas or not, but I know we got to get the scanner before it does. See what kind of gas it has. Take a look at the oil. It rattled quite a bit on startup, and we'll go from there. Let's get the one hooked up. Asian Honda. See what kind of codes we got. Check the oil. The oil is full, fairly clean. Current data loading exception. Read the VIN. Confirm. Read the VIN. I want you to do it twice. I don't know why. Confirm. USA. It's a process. Look at the poor armrest. What the heck? That poor armrest, it's been through some stuff. I guess almost 200,000 miles. It kind of makes sense, right? We'll pull all the codes and all the modules. And we'll know where to go from there. It runs pretty good, honestly, other than that rattle when I first started it. It sounded like a timing chain tensioner or guides or something. If it was guides, it usually won't quiet up like that. If it's a tensioner, it fills with oil and puts more pressure on the chain and gets everything a little quieter. May have a weak tensioner or a stretched chain. 188,000 miles, also understandable. So one thing this scan tool doesn't like is working without the internet, which is going to make it difficult if you're ever trying to diagnose a car in a parking lot or something to that effect. I could probably change that in my settings somewhere. Home, user info, settings, WLAN, connected. Okay, back, return to task, retry. That's a common scan tool thing too, where it wants you to rehook to the Wi-Fi after you lose the Wi-Fi connection. You have to tell it to reconnect. Maybe there's a setting I can change on that. Put it back to automatically reconnect. It's a lot nicer not sitting in the car, actually. I think I might stay outside the car. Precariously placing it on the headlight, just to make the content more exciting. It's gonna take a minute. Something cool with this scan tool as well, if you see here in tiny letters, pinch to zoom and drag. Just like a conventional computer. That's pretty cool. It's taken a couple minutes, but not because of the scan tool, because the car is slow. I've had this on newer cars, and it goes right through them. So it's just waiting on modules. In any event, we got quite a few codes. Let's send a report while we got Wi-Fi, hop in the car, take a look at the ones that have to do with engine and cluster. I'm almost wondering if what he's saying is his gauge goes to empty too fast. Not that he's actually using the gas. He may have a problem with the cluster since we have a code in the cluster, or as it calls here, gauge. So I'll send a report. We'll hop in there and take a look. Probably hard to see. There's a little bit of glare. I'm trying to get things facing better. Fuel level sensor circuit high voltage permanent. Fuel level sensor circuit high voltage temporary, and a catalyst code. So what he's talking about is a gas gauge problem. So we'll go into the cluster 2, see if it agrees. Fuel level sensor circuit malfunction. So that's what we're doing. We're looking at a fuel level sensor issue and an engine that's getting kind of tired but still runs okay. So I can clear the codes. We'll probably have to get a wiring diagram, find out how hard it is to get to the fuel level sender. Fuel tank, fuel pump module has the sender on it. I believe on this car it's either under the rear seat. Possibly have to drop the tank. So we'll look it up, we'll figure that all out, and we'll jump all up into it. Alright, I've got wiring diagrams showing me the fuel pump wiring, and I've got a wiring diagram showing me the fuel pump connector, where they should go. Now what I'm going to do is go in the cluster, enter the system. We can tell the cluster, hey, let's do a test that'll sweep the gauges and try to make things work the way they're supposed to. Fuel gauge is the second one up. So what it's doing is, if it doesn't get a signal from that sender that it likes, if it stays in one place for too many miles, or if it's open or shorted, and that will make it stay in one place for too many miles as well, it sets this code and blinks the light and gets really sad. Let's look at data stream and see what it says for fuel level, and then we'll go into the cluster test and see what that looks like. Fuel sending unit graphs 4.97, and this one doesn't tell you any other data other than it sees an input. It's interesting. So to me, that's about what the cluster probably sends 5 volts out, looking to see how much the float moves and changes the resistance. So it should send something back on this one, and I assume that's why it's blank like that. Let's go back to the future. Active test. It might be special functions, but we'll try function test first. Beeper, indicator switch, segments check, gauges, drives check. While performing, the instrument panel brightness controller operates normally with the lights on. The select or trip button is used to start beeper drive circuit and gauge driver circuit check. If the vehicle speed exceeds 1.2 or it's turned off, the function will end. Press OK to end this function. Oh, the segments went up. Okay. Showing you the segments work in the dash. That's pretty cool. So all that stuff is working. It probably has a bad sending unit, but I gotta see if I can. You got to pull the seat out and stuff to get in there, and it's not really looking forward to it. This is the point where you go, well, should I take a risk? Just push OK and end this test, and the dash should go back to normal. Tempted to take a risk and just say it's got a bad sending unit, which that's probably going to be what it is. I'd really like to get in there and do some more testing. Let's try clearing some codes and seeing if that'll do anything different as well. This thing's going to take a second. Oh, the airbag codes come right back. I did send a report already, so clearing these codes is fine. The only problem with resetting or clearing codes too, so you know, is it resets the drive monitors most of the time. So once I've cleared all the codes, then everything's going to say that the drive cycle monitors haven't run, which I was talking about earlier. I wanted to show you, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it in this car. Sensor circuit high voltage. Now I can go online here too. I can also ask the AI assistant. Let's do that. Help me fix it. Fault interpretation. Fuel level sensor circuit high voltage. So what that means is it's either doesn't have a ground or the sender's bad, because if you think about it, high voltage means it's not being pulled to ground at all. Just too much voltage. If it says low voltage, it means it's not getting the 5-volt signal. It probably has a ground. At least that's in my experience. Basically, we know the ground's good because if you look at our lovely wiring diagram, there's only one ground going to the connector, black G602. That grounds the fuel pump and the sending unit. Since the fuel pump works because the engine runs, we know we're getting a ground, but we still have high voltage. It sees the 5 volts we saw in data. It's got a bad sending unit. So I feel pretty good about that. Fault interpretation, we'll ask AI. Loading fault interpretation. This is one of the cool things about this tool. It's basically doing your Google search for you, which I like that. Inspect the sensor for damage, check wiring connectors, evaluate the ground. Use a professional diagnostic tool. Ha! We have one. Generated by Top Fix. Thumbs up. I like it. I'm going to tell them it needs a sending unit. We're going to open it up and we'll do the final testing right before we pull it apart and replace anything. If he's serious about fixing his car, we'll go from there. If I do find a bad wiring or a connector issue, then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Flat rate. This car needs some work, as you might imagine. Got some Earl leaks and motor mount dealio, and tie rod ends has seen better days, and the ball joints, wheel liners, and I noticed the exhaust, the shield is falling off the catalytic converter or something. Just kind of laying there rubbing on stuff. Looks like that axle is starting to leak a little grease. The steering rack, it's got oil on it, probably not leaking, but oil on it from the engine leaking out of the valve cover, and VVT stuff. And I'm gonna see if they want to do the sending unit at least. The rear brakes are just about metal to metal. They're like 2 sheets of loose leaf away from being metal to metal in the back. Anything more comes to this poor old girl. She lived a good life. Maybe it's not over for her yet. We'll see. It all depends on the remaining credit card balance, probably. I know that's how it works for me. Honda from yesterday. Never got a crank no start, but I do get a no crank no start.
It's doing it now?
There you have it. All right, the Honda wants to do the fuel pump, spark plugs, air filter, wipers, rear brakes, lower control arms, outer tie rod ends, wheel alignment. And they're like, can you get it done today? You got 2.5 hours left. we're gonna, whoa, the heck. We're gonna do what we can do. We'll see what we can get done today. If we get it all done, great. If we don't get it all done, great. I'm gonna have to move some stuff. I think it's on this side. So if I kind of move everything over there. Uh-oh. No coming back from that. Oh, the things we have to do, huh? The things we have to do. Cheerios, what else you need? There's nothing else you possibly could need in this world. I'm gonna have to get this seat forward so I can flip this seat up and see what's under there. Oh boy, oh boy. Not too bad. I'm gonna get some gloves. I got it a little cleaned up in here. He's like, "You're gonna get this done tonight, right? You think you can get it done tonight?" I said, "Well, you wanna help me find the wheel lock key?" I'll be right back. I know the wheel lock key's not in the glove box. Let's put it that way. I'm gonna put the fuel pump in here, see if my fuel gauge tells me some cool stuff. Then I'll worry about the rear brakes and the front end work and putting the spark plugs in and stuff. Which, that stuff's not hard. It's just that there's a lot of little things we're doing. So, and I'm not the one to go so fast that I come back Monday and it's been towed back in. That's, why is this not even attached? Ugh. There's bugs in there. I don't know if you can see them on camera, but it looks very familiar, like the Nissan I worked on the other day. Wow, cool. Let me plug in a new fuel pump to this before I even get too crazy. I can do that. What do you think about that?
plug the fuel pump into this, pull the float arm up, and see what it says. All right. Boom. My gauge reads full. So let's pop that in real quick. Ryan found the wheel lock key in the glove box in a little pouch, which I was afraid to touch it because it looked kind of suspicious. Stay tuned and I'll show you when I get to the brakes and stuff. I got my little tool on here. What's funny is when you go in the back, we were looking for the wheel lock under all the rubbish in the back, and one of these is in the back with the spare tire well, but we couldn't find the wheel lock key. I can't explain this stuff. I just do the best I can in the moment. Oh, that's all any of us can do. I wish the bugs would stop flying around my head in here too. That's alarming. I think I just pulled that out, I hope. Maybe all it needed was to be correctly installed. All right, carrying on. Now the way this works is there's a seal, then the cap goes over this upper spacer for some reason. I guess it's another seal. So it's gonna be in the cap like this. There's really no place to put you guys and all the clothes, and I really don't want cockroach eggs on my camera, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna pop this in. You saw that it's gonna work, right? I'm gonna pop this in, move on, see what we can get done in this car tonight. That's my goal. He's got tools in the back, like he's a mechanic, and a gas can and parts for fuel pumps and stuff. It's very strange. I don't know if he put it in himself and did it wrong and just doesn't want to deal with it anymore. I'm moving on. That's what I'm doing. All right, I got it all buttoned up. I got it a little tighter than he had it, or whoever did it had it. And I'm going to try to find him some screws for these. Basically little wood screws about a ½ inch long or so. Anything should work. Get something in there at least. There was no screws at all. That one's too small. All right, apparently it's a slightly bigger thread than I had imagined. And the bigger one fit. I brought 2 sizes. Carpet's on. Seats put back. That's easy. I'll put this window back up. I was trying to let the bugs out of there. The gnats and mosquitoes and stuff. We have them in our garbage cans too, oddly enough. Uh-oh. Maybe I shouldn't have put that window down. Oh, that's going to prove to be an issue. Don't put the left rear window down, please, while you work on my car, because it doesn't go back up. There it goes. Just got to play with it a while. It's fine. So I don't think the suspension arms and shocks, and spark plugs are here yet. I'm going to jack it up, take all the wheels off, and probably we'll do the rear brakes next. Now this lift, you can lift all 4 wheels, not like the alignment rack. That one's 2 separate sides. You can't even see, can you? I apologize. I don't want to block the arms because I have to replace them. Let's lift it by the subframe. There you go. Thing's on the struggle bus. Just lifting a little Honda CR-V. The jack could barely do it. Wheel lock key. Doesn't look like a wheel lock key bag, does it? Flip it over and orient it correctly. That looks more like a wheel lock key bag. I'm going to put his sack back on the glove box. Some of the items that he has in there are kind of strange for a guy, but you know what? Everyone's rowing their own boat. It's not my boat. Not my boat to row. I'm going to stay out of it as much as I can, even though it's still funny. Uh-oh, that wasn't really tight. We're going to do the outer tire rods, suspension arms, which I'm surprised only 2 hours labor, but must be really easy. It's going to also need at least 1 stud and 1 nut. Of course, why wouldn't it? So 1 stud nut for this right rear. That's my stud installer tool. Have it ready to go. All right, I'll go get the big one. Such a waste of time. I thought you were gonna have this transmission in by now. What the heck? How long does it take?
I can get on in hours, not in
How long does it take? How long does it take to pop a clutch in a Nissan? You big old girl, come here. Give me some loving. Oh, it's a Hyundai. Never mind. I keep calling it an Infinity because I'm not that bright. I get by just on my looks. It's a whole different world when you put a little oomph behind it. My socket got hot with the other impact. Sometimes I don't. Enjoys got nuts. Mounds don't. 12 and a 17. I can't say that I guessed correctly because I'd be lying. And you know I don't like to do that at all. I'm gonna go back to the toolbox again. I think the other side has a Phillips here. So I know I'm gonna need an impact driver too. I wonder if that's an 18 or a 17. Let's check. 17. I already got enough steps today. I'm gonna bring you up tight, all uptight in the action in here. You let me know if it's scary and you got too close. We're looking for good special effects in this week's videos. We're gonna end the week strong. I watched the guy's videos the other day. I was amazed. He's, I thought I can get crabby sometimes. This old guy, something about Bondo Billy or something, I think he was called. Got like 180,000 subscribers, and he just complained about people that don't know how to do body work right. The whole video, I'm like, wow, 180,000 subscribers. It's crazy.
Big money. Air filter, spark plug.
Oh yeah.
Still waiting to hear back. Yep.
That's not good. Slide's got to be frozen because the uneven pad wear is off the charts. The slide's frozen just enough to cause all that trouble. You know why? Nothing's been greased. Just saying. Couldn't fit my tool in there to push the piston back, so I had to do it manually a little bit. Now it should fit, I think. It's crazy. Just because the slides and this part of the pad was not lubricated, that's the uneven pad wear you get. That's how you do that. That gives me an idea for a shirt. A mechanic with a big wrench and a dead horse laying on the ground, and he's just hitting him with a big giant, like a crowbar or a big torque wrench or something. I don't know. It'd be too small to tell what kind of wrench it was, maybe, but in my mind, it should be some kind of a torque wrench or a big giant bolt with thread lock on it. Ah, come on, man. Don't be like that. Someone did brakes, didn't lubricate a damn thing. I don't know why something happened. This guy's brakes could have went another 10,000 miles if they were done correctly last time. They'll be done correctly this time. They even got the grease to prove it right here. Listen. Linda. What the grease will do is, I'm going to shove some in here and past the rubber, and obviously in the flats of the slide, and even the grease that gets pushed off of it will still help, because the grease will seal out moisture as the slide moves a little bit. The problem is these slides don't move, like the brakes have barely any clearance. The slides barely move each time you press the brakes. When they stick just a little, it can cause big problems. It's not like a drum brake where the shoes move a lot every time. These only move 10, 20, maybe 25 thousandths of an inch. I gotta clean this off after I remove it. Then we'll lubricate under and over the hardware. You listening? You listening? You listening? I don't know if this 550-pound 3/8 will take the 17s off. That dead horse t-shirt's gonna have to happen. 550 foot-pound. That's all right. We got an adapter right here, just in case I brought one. Let's see if this one can do it. This is rated for 550 foot-pounds too, I think. Oh. Maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't have talked smack and it's not the little M3/8 gun's fault. What do I do now? I don't know if it'll fit without Mr. Wobbly on it. Uh-oh. Mr. Wobbly's not wobbly anymore. These are Sunex. Their days are numbered apparently right after that little bit of harsh treatment I gave them. They're about to give up on me. I'm gonna go back in for more tools. I'm gonna have to get a Manuel ratchet, I think. We'll get a 1/2-inch flex head ratchet. We'll get a 17 mid-length socket because the longer sockets tend to torque off the head of the bolt. Where's a safe place to do it from? Oh, I know. If I jump over the lift here, I can pull on this without too much risk of injury at least. Uh-oh, don't do that. Ugh. Holy moly. What the heck? Honda. Maybe these are 400 foot-pounds. Ugh. Holy crap. Ugh. Ugh. Wow. Was somebody overzealous up north when they did these brakes? Or is there rust in the threads? Holy moly. That's crazy. Little tiny bolts. They're not that big. These washers don't go there. FYI. Washers go like this. These washers go in between. I'll show you when I get it apart. This wasn't reassembled right the last time they were done. We're gonna have to fix that. Probably also why they were so tight. Because they're incompatible materials. This washer, which they basically have room, is supposed to go here. There's two of them. It goes between this bracket and the spindle because this is aluminum and this is cast iron. And if these aren't in there between them, supposedly they fuse themselves together and makes a big old mess. Maybe that's what was starting to happen with this bolt because they were way tighter than I've ever seen on a Honda. And they're usually pretty tight, but not like that. Now I can't put this side back together till my stud gets here from the parts store. I can take the other side apart though. This side wouldn't come off because of the lack of lubrication. It just almost tries to rust itself to the slides. Whoa, 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 easy there, Fast and Furious dude. We're having a conversation over here, you animal. Savages around here. That's low. And this one here, I'm so disappointed right now in somebody I don't know. That's not gonna work. I gotta do the same thing as I did on the other side. Trying to move the piston back enough to get my tool in there. My tool is huge and it won't fit. But I'm making some room. Come on now. Don't give me a hard time. This person doesn't have any more money. I don't think. The pads are labeled left inner, right inner. I'm curious to see if the squealer's on the right side on that. I don't think it is. Let me get the pads. I got them on the other side of the lift. Oh, it's starting to drizzle. That's nice. That's really going to hamper my production. Left hand inner. See anything wrong with that picture? So whoever did this last didn't lubricate the slides, didn't lubricate the contact points, put the washers back in the wrong way, and had the pads on the wrong side. Basically did everything you could possibly do wrong. At least on this car, you can't put the pads. I've seen people put them in backwards when there's no hardware on them. They just have the metal side on the rotor because they don't know. They're like, that's easy. Mechanics are dumb. I can do it. It's like if I tried to do brain surgery because I watched the video. Maybe repair and brain surgery aren't exactly the same, but you know what I'm saying. There are some things you can do yourself. There are some things you should get help if you haven't done it before. Get someone who has to at least give you some guidance. Even if they're not a professional and they've just watched more videos than you, well, tell them to subscribe to my channel and we can all help each other. I don't recommend putting much grease here. I'm only doing it to make sure some grease gets down in the cavity besides what I'm putting in this way. These Hondas are especially sensitive to slide pins. Little tiny parts. Not very forgiving. This one might have a frozen impact screw, but I'm not sure yet. It is all-wheel drive, so I don't have to worry about. Normally, if it was rear-wheel drive and this would free spin, I'd try to get that loose before I took the brakes off, because they help just a little bit creating drag on the rotors while you're working on. Whoa, whoa, whoa! That's an Infinity. Someone took the entire exhaust system off an Infinity. I don't understand. I guess I'm old. I gotta be just getting too old. That's the only explanation I can think of. Yeah, I don't want to do this socket in the rest of the way. I'm gonna break these loose the same way I did the other one. Let's do the, you haven't seen the impact screw dealio. This should work. There's some screw left. The other side, they drilled them both out. And if you don't have an impact screwdriver like this, I think I've mentioned before, just in case, if you get a good set of vessel screw, full tang screwdrivers, you can hammer on the back of this while you work the screw, and it usually works unless they're really, really messed up. Most of the time, it'll get them out. Especially down in Florida. They did the same thing on this side. They're like, where did these go? I don't remember where they went. Let's just put them on the bolts. Okay. I can only imagine if they stayed in New York and didn't move to Florida, how much fun those would have been. Let's see, I gotta get this out of here. This is missing on the other side, I think. I gotta double check. I didn't remember seeing it. This is for inspecting the parking brake shoes. Some of you might know. Oh, oh, oh! Gravity check! Hang on. Put these over here in the scrap pile. Giuseppe's made a nice scrap pile over here. Might as well use it. Now, the bolts will still fit through here. This is where they go. You can usually get them to stay in if you're careful putting things together. Once you get the bracket over the washers, kind of push the bracket against them until you line it up and get the bolts started. It's starting to rain pretty good now, so that'll be fun. And you guys know how pissed off I get when my hair gets messed up. Kind of sets me over the edge. I don't like that. I thought it was going to pop right on there, but the faster you go, the behinder you get. Did that gravity check make it to the ground? Wow. Oh, look at it. It's all the way over there. Okay. How do they roll 8 feet away? I don't understand. Got it. That's 0.2 extra, knuckleheads. That wasn't their fault. That was 100% my fault, but I'm still blaming them anyway. You don't want any of this grease going down in the center where the rotor rides in case it touches the rotor or something. Hang out just about 5 more minutes, brain. Hardware is on. If I'm careful. It'll go on just fine.
got big catch. Big bunch of stupid.
What you got? Oh, stud in the nut. A stud bringing me a stud. Got a big old pile of stupid standing here in the rain, telling me how stupid it is to have work inside the shop. Okay, that's fine. It's all about perspective in this world. And everybody's only got their own perspective. How can someone have your perspective when they're not you? Duh. Now the wheel will flatten this out. It just makes me feel better knowing the screw's not flopping around loose in there after the wheel's on. It's the only reason for doing what I just did there. That one. I'm gonna put a little lubrication on this, but first I gotta put this shim in here. I'm gonna lubricate this piston. Don't lubricate the other side yet, because you gotta put a brake pad in there. I find if I just take a little tension off that one spring, it goes together a little easier. But it's still not easy, just easier. And it's raining on me, that's cool. I'm fine. I'll be fine, don't worry. The show must go on. Well, it doesn't look like it must, but trust me. There it goes. Now it must go on. I think. No, the hardware came out. That's cool. Don't you worry about it. My glasses have spots all over them. The brakes are getting broken in rain-wise. I gotta get my brake pad in a little better. There it goes. It's all part of the show. I'm even willing to get my GoPro wet and destroy a $400 camera so I can get you guys some excellent unseen footage on YouTube. Why is that not feel right? Alright. Get the wheel on here and get to a side that it's not raining on. Not raining on you. Hey! Got Union Studio employees working over here. You interfere with them, we'll send a union on you. Sick the union on you? Yeah. One of those. I don't know. I'm tired of getting rained on at this point. I could go get a hat. He did say the customer is going to let us have it till Monday. I'm like, well, that's good, because he's either going to take it without everything being done today, or wait until Monday. One of the two. Something's not right. Oh, that's a bummer. I'm going to say not the right tie rod ends. That's definitely not going to get done today now. That's good stuff. The tie rod ends being wrong are going to put a real dampener on things. I might let it down. I got spark plugs and air filter. I can knock that out. Alright, the air filter's in. If you blinked, you missed it. Just 4 clips around here, but take this clamp off, it's way easier to get the lid off of there. I told him, ask if it's been tuned up. It's got 188,000 miles on it. The customer said, no, go ahead, tune it up. Okay. You know, it wasn't done that long ago. Oh, it's been forever. Okay. Then you will get a tune-up. How do you like that? Another case where the customer is always right. The car's kind of high because the front tires are off and it's jacked up, but it's not going to stop me. I got T-Rex arms, but I'm tall as a basketball player. What's up? Huh? Something don't feel right.
Grab this and try to turn it in neutral.
What are you feeling?
And hard as a rock trying to turn it.
You ain't turning it.
Yeah, I just did.
It's in gear or something.
I just turned it. Look.
Oh, that's fine.
Huh?
As long as it turns a little, that's fine.
Yeah, but that ought to be smoother than that. Dude, hold on. Let me see the cranks turning at the same time. You do it.
I think you're losing me.
My mind?
Yeah, you want it to turn smooth in neutral with the car in the left?
You're supposed to, right?
Why? I don't know why you would check something like that. Well, you're turning all the gears in the transmission. It's in gear oil and stuff.
Okay, there you go. So that means it's in gear right now. So the
You
clutch
turn
is...
the rear diff, the transmission shafts, all the rear axles. And
No, but I'm saying if it's in neutral, it shouldn't turn the engine.
no, but it'll turn the back.
It means the clutch is engaged right now, right?
No, it's going to turn the back.
No, the crank just turned.
It did?
Yeah.
It's not neutral then.
Can't be, right.
Right.
How come you turn it then? Because you'd be turning the rear end of the car.
Turn the engine. I'm not sure what you're testing. Let it down and see how it works.
You're saying that's clearly not neutral.
Well, if it's turning the engine, it's not.
Plus I have no clutch pedal.
Because the force going from the transmission to the rear end is like 5 to 1 or 4 to 1 or 3 to 1 or whatever first gear is, if it was in first. Then you got to be 3 times stronger than the engine to turn it the other direction. Because it's a gear multiplier. Yeah, I wouldn't even be trying that stuff. I'd let it down and see how it works.
No, I'm not getting.
See what kind of pedal you got. It's Friday, man. Hey, at least the new plugs are prettier than these ones. Denso Iridiums.
They work, but the clutch looks different.
Yeah, I wouldn't be traveling down that road just yet. Unless you let it down, try to start it and had a problem, then I'd be looking for weird stuff. You got to do the master still, don't you?
Yeah, that's why I'm not done yet.
Oh. Not really very tight, but not very loose, not very tight. Right in between. I guess that'd be Goldilocks tight. Look at that. This car too, it made a little timing chain noise, but it ran good. See if my suspension arms, I put that one in already. Make sure I didn't hurt the ground electrode. I don't think I did. Got to get my suspension arms and my outer tie rod ends. And if I can get, it's almost 4:30 already, so. Because I had to do a wheel stud and stuff, which I don't think I even filmed that. I got in too much of a rush. I showed you the tool. You put a lug nut on the tool, pulls it right in. You didn't miss anything spectacular. Nothing's been too spectacular lately. I hope it doesn't suck. Maybe it's not for some people, not some people's cup of tea. Not enough girlies, and sometimes I do unorthodox. Well, what I'm doing is never unorthodox, but I show the real world, flat rate mechanic world, not the, hey, look how impressive what I'm doing is, and look how you're doing it wrong. That's not what we do here. What we do here is, how do you make a living fixing cars and doing it right? What shortcuts work, what shortcuts don't? And I show you when I take a shortcut and mess up, which frankly isn't too often, I gotta say. The main thing is, if I do try something and it doesn't work, I don't just give the car back to the customer and go, we're done. I know it's not fixed, but tough cookies. I don't do that. That's where I think someone's really in the field that might not ought to be, because they didn't fix something and they just turned the keys in anyway and said, it's done. I want my paycheck. That's where the problem is. Sometimes you got to take it on the chin and say, you know what? I put the part in, didn't fix it. Now, did you tell them it needed it, or did you tell them you needed it, you wanted to try it? Big difference. And I've said it a couple of times by now, I'm sure, but everyone's got to be on the same page. If you're trying something, be honest about it and go, man, this thing is so intermittent, it's not doing anymore. These are the two most likely causes, or this is the most likely cause, or what I prefer is, I've seen this a number of times, it's almost always this. Let's try that and let the customer know. If the light comes back on, or this noise or whatever reoccurs, whatever it might be, then we'll have to go further. If the part's really expensive, then you don't want to do that, because usually the parts store doesn't take it back. It's not fair to make a customer pay for it. That's when you're busting out scopes and all kinds of crazy stuff, and waiting for something to happen intermittently and spending the money on diagnosis time. When a part's $1,000 and crazy stuff like that. They're all the same, right? Yeah, they're all the same. They're all the same. Even though they're the same, I just looked at them and saw they're the same. I switched them anyway. I put the wipers on too. I said it needed rear wipers, but we got all 3, so that's fine. The front ones weren't new, but weren't really bad yet. Not where I would change them on my car. What's next? Let's see if the suspension parts are here. Oh, I gotta check the AC too. He said something about the AC not working great. These were never gonna fall off of here ever. That's one thing we can all be certain of. Oh geez. I'm in a mood for steaks tonight. I hope my wife is. Mrs. making it work. Oh, look at that. Doesn't look like it's low. Let's start it up and see. Oh, well, that came loose easy. That's nice. Yeah.
You can push it hard.
Sure.
You gonna try to get it done tonight?
Nah. I got 5 more hours worth of work to do on it.
Oh, Ryan, you can do it.
No, that's not exactly what I said. What I said was, do you want it to be towed back Monday with stuff that fell off? Whereas I can promise you one thing, you definitely can't get a car done if you don't have parts and you don't have the right parts. It's gonna be Monday anyway, which we kind of knew. I got about 4 hours worth of work to do still, and we don't have all the parts, and it's 5:30. We've got a 2023 Ford Escape out in the parking lot. We're trying to move. You can't move it. We pulled the release cord that disengages the park, and it puts the parking brake on every time we try to move it. What happens if you break down your Ford Escape and you need to get it off the road? The tow truck driver also couldn't get it off the wrecker earlier, so we'll deal with that on Monday. Joe's working on it too, not me, but we all spent like a half hour just now trying to move it. Not happening. Hope you got something from today's video. We got a few things done. We figured out the fuel sender on this, a couple other things. We'll party on the Lincoln a little bit more next week, this one a little more next week. Torque the like button on your way out. I hope you have a great weekend. You're awesome.